Ambassador Lisa Carter walked through the long halls of the Galactic Council building. Her shoes made soft sounds on the smooth metal floor. The walls were covered with strange symbols from dozens of alien worlds. She had been walking these same halls for 3 years now, but today felt different. Today everything would change. Lisa stopped outside the main meeting room. Through the clear doors, she could see hundreds of alien creatures sitting in their special seats. Some looked like giant insects with many arms. Others were covered in scales like snakes. A few looked like floating jellyfish that glowed with soft light. All of them were more advanced than humans, or so they liked to believe. She touched the small device behind her ear. It was connected to Earth, sending everything she heard back to the human government. Today they would all hear what the aliens really thought about humanity. Lisa pushed open the doors and walked to her seat. It was smaller than the others and placed at the back of the room. The aliens had made sure humans knew their place from the very first day. As she sat down, several aliens turned to look at her. Their eyes showed the same thing Lisa had seen for 3 years. They thought humans were nothing more than smart animals. The meeting began when Council Speaker Vex Thara moved to the center of the room. She was 12 feet long and looked like a giant cobra, but with 6 arms instead of none. Her voice was soft and musical, but Lisa had learned that beautiful sounds could hide ugly thoughts. Today we discussed the incident at Kepler 442b. Vex Thara announced. Her words were translated into human language by Lisa's device. The human colony there was attacked by Zephyrian raiders. Lisa felt her hands become fists. The attack had happened 2 weeks ago. Zephyrian pirates had destroyed the research station where 300 humans lived and worked. They killed everyone except the children, who were taken as slaves. It was the worst attack on humans since they joined the galactic community. The humans request council action against the raiders, Vex Thara continued. They want protection for their colonies and punishment for the attackers. A sound filled the room that Lisa had heard too many times. It was alien laughter. Different species made different sounds when they found something funny. The insect-like Montari clicked their claws together. The floating ethereals made sounds like wind chimes. The rock-like granite people rumbled like small earthquakes. They were laughing at human pain. Trade Regent Moldar stood up from his seat. It looked like a walking crystal, all sharp edges and bright light. When he spoke, his voice sounded like breaking glass. The humans expand too fast across the galaxy, he said. They take resources that other species need. Perhaps this attack will teach them to slow down. More laughter filled the room. Lisa felt sick to her stomach. These creatures were supposed to be civilized. They claimed to believe in peace and justice. But when humans died, they laughed. A small alien that looked like a furry ball with eyes spoke next. Lisa knew him as Council Member Piptar. His voice was high and squeaky. Humans breed like insects, he said. They make too many babies and need too much space. Maybe fewer humans would be good for everyone. The laughter got louder. Lisa looked around the room and saw the truth in every alien face. They did not see humans as equals. They saw humans as pests that needed to be controlled. But it was Vex Thara's next words that broke something inside Lisa's heart. The council has discussed this matter, the snake-like speaker announced. We have decided that no action will be taken against the Zephyrian raiders. The human colony was built in disputed space. The humans knew the risks when they settled. There, Lisa stood up so fast that her chair fell over. The sound echoed through the suddenly quiet room. Disputed space? She shouted. That system was empty when we arrived. We followed all council rules for new colonies. We registered the claim and waited the required time. There was no dispute until after we found the rare minerals. Vexthara's 6 arms moved in what Lisa knew was the alien version of a shrug. The Zephyrians claim ancient rights to that system. The Council cannot take sides in such matters. Ancient rights? Lisa's voice got louder. The Zephyrians never even visited that system until our geologists found the platinum deposits. This is not about ancient rights. This is about letting pirates steal from humans because you think we do not matter. The room filled with angry sounds from dozens of alien throats. They did not like being challenged by a human. Trade Regent Moldar's crystal body glowed brighter with anger. How dare you question the Council's wisdom, mammal? Your species has been in space for less than a century. We have maintained galactic peace for 10,000 years. Lisa looked around the room one more time. She saw the truth in every alien face. Humans would never be accepted as equals here. No matter what they did, no matter how much they contributed, they would always be seen as inferior. She touched the device behind her ear again. This time, she opened a direct channel to Admiral Jake Morrison, the head of human military forces. Admiral Morrison, this is Ambassador Carter. I recommend immediate implementation of Protocol 7. The negotiations have failed. Protocol 7 was the code name for humanity's withdrawal from all galactic affairs. It had been planned in secret for months, just in case diplomacy failed completely. Understood, Ambassador. Morrison's voice came back through her earpiece. Protocol 7 is now active. All human personnel are to return to human space immediately. Lisa picked up her bag and walked toward the door. Behind her, the aliens were making confused noises. They had not understood her conversation with Earth, but they knew something important had just happened. Where are you going? Vexthara called out. The council session is not finished. You cannot leave without permission. Lisa stopped at the door and turned around. She looked at each alien in the room, trying to remember their faces. For 3 years, I have begged this council to treat humanity as equals. I have asked for fair trade agreements, mutual defense pacts, and basic respect. Instead, you have laughed at our pain and ignored our needs. Her voice was calm now, but everyone in the room could hear the anger underneath. You have shown us exactly what you think of humanity. Now we will show you what we think of this. Council. Lisa walked out of the room and let the door close behind her. As she walked down the long hallway, she could hear the aliens inside making loud, confused noises. They were probably wondering what the human ambassador meant by her words. They would find out soon enough. The age of human diplomacy was over. Admiral Jake Morrison sat in his office high above Earth. Through the big window, he could see the blue planet spinning slowly below. Ships moved back and forth between Earth and the moon like busy insects. But today was different. Today, everything would change. The message from Ambassador Elisa Carter had come through just minutes ago. Protocol 7 was now active. Jake had been waiting for this moment for months, hoping it would never come but preparing for it anyway. He pressed a button on his desk. Commander Ryan Brooks, report to my office immediately. Ryan arrived within 2 minutes. He was a tall man with short brown hair and serious eyes. He had been Jake's assistant for 5 years and knew exactly what Protocol 7 meant. Sir, I received your message, Ryan said as he stood at attention. Are we really doing this? Jake nodded slowly. Ambassador Carter just gave us the go. Signal. The aliens made their choice. Now we make ours. He stood up and walked to the window. Send the recall order to every human in alien space. Diplomats, traders, scientists, soldiers, everyone. I want them all back in human territory within 72 hours. Ryan's fingers moved quickly over his portable computer. What about? The long-term project, sir. Dr. Amanda Price is in the middle of important research on Altair 4. Captain Steve Johnson has trade deals worth billions of credits. Everyone comes home, Jake said firmly. No exceptions. The aliens wanted to treat us like we don't matter. Let's see how they feel when we're really gone. The recall order went out across the galaxy at the speed of light. On dozens of worlds, humans received the same message. Drop everything. Come home now. No questions asked. Dr. Amanda Price was working in her laboratory on Altair 4 when the first message arrived. She was studying alien plants that could grow in space without soil or water. The research could have helped feed millions of people across the galaxy. But when she read the recall order, she did not hesitate. Amanda began destroying her work. She deleted all the computer files and burned all the paper notes. Her alien research partner, a creature that looked like a walking tree, watched in horror. "Dr. Price, what are you doing?" the alien asked. Its voice sounded like wind through leaves. "This research could save lives. You cannot destroy 3 years of work." Amanda did not look up from her task. "The Galactic Council has made it clear that human lives don't matter to them. If our lives have no value, then neither does our work." She picked up a special seed that could have fed an entire planet. For a moment, she held it in her hand. Then she threw it into the fire. On the other side of the galaxy, Captain Steve Johnson was meeting with alien business leaders on the Centauri commercial hub. The space station was huge, bigger than most cities. Thousands of different species came there to buy and sell goods. From across the galaxy, Steve's communication device beeped with an urgent message. When he read it, his face went pale. He looked up at the aliens sitting around the conference table. They were discussing a contract to build new hospitals on 12 different worlds. "Gentlemen," Steve said quietly, "I'm afraid our business is finished." A blue-skinned alien with 4 arms leaned forward. "What do you mean, Captain Johnson?" "We have not finished negotiating the terms." Steve stood up and gathered his papers. "Humans are no longer doing business with alien corporations. All contracts are canceled effective immediately." The aliens made sounds of confusion and anger. One of them, a creature covered in fur, slammed his hand on the table. "You cannot do this. We have agreements. Legal contracts." "The contracts all have cancellation clauses for political emergencies," Steve replied. "This qualifies." He walked toward the door. "Good luck finding someone else to build your hospitals." But the most shocking withdrawal happened at the neutral zone medical station. Dr. Patricia Lewis had been working there for 2 years with alien doctors from 15 different species. They were trying to find a cure for the Crimson Plague, a terrible disease that killed millions of aliens every year. Patricia had been closer to finding a cure than anyone before her. Their human knowledge of genetics combined with alien technology had produced amazing results. The prototype cure was almost ready for testing. When the recall order came, Patricia looked at her work for a long time. In her hands, she held vials of medicine that could save entire worlds. But she also remembered the laughter in the council chambers when humans died. She began smashing the vials one by one. Her alien partner, Dr. Zilmara, rushed into the laboratory. She looked like a giant mantis with golden eyes. "Patricia, what are you doing?" "That is the only sample of the cure." "Not anymore," Patricia said as she destroyed the last vial. She then turned to the computer and began deleting all the research files. "You cannot do this," Dr. Zilmara screamed. "My people are dying. Children are suffering. You have no right to destroy hope." Patricia stopped typing and looked at her former partner. "Your council had no right to let human children be taken as slaves. Your people had no right to laugh when we asked for justice. You made your choice about the value of human life. Now I'm making mine about the value of human knowledge." The alien doctor fell to her knees as Patricia deleted the last of the research files. "Please," she whispered, "don't do this." But Patricia was already walking away. All across the galaxy, similar scenes played out. Human mining operations on asteroid belts went dark. Human security companies abandoned their posts, leaving alien colonies unprotected. Human teachers left their schools on alien worlds. Human mechanics walked away from half-repaired alien ships. General Carl Peterson commanded the largest human military base outside of Earth. It was located on Kepler 186f, a planet that served as a meeting point for many different species. The base protected trade routes and kept pirates away from peaceful colonies. When the recall order came, Carl smiled for the first time in months. He had watched alien leaders treat his people like servants for too long. Now it was time for payback. "Attention all alien personnel," he announced over the base's speakers. "You have 1 hour to pack your belongings and leave this facility. Your security clearances are canceled. Your access cards will stop working in 60 minutes. Alien officers and diplomats ran through the halls, grabbing their things and asking confused questions. They could not believe that humans would really leave. For years, they had taken human protection for granted. As the last alien transport ship left the base, Carl watched from his office window. The ship disappeared into the stars, carrying confused and frightened aliens back to their home worlds. "Sir," one of his officers asked, "what do we do now?" Carl looked at the empty alien quarters and smiled. "Now we pack up everything valuable and head home. Let's see how long it takes them to realize what they've lost." Within 72 hours, human space was full of returning ships. Freighters, passenger ships, military vessels, and research craft all headed back to Earth and the human colonies. The Great Withdrawal was complete. On alien worlds across the galaxy, empty buildings stood where humans had once worked. Abandoned. Projects sat half-finished. Medical research labs were dark and silent. Trade centers echoed with emptiness. The aliens had gotten exactly what they wanted. A galaxy without human interference. Soon they would learn the true cost of their wish. The first attack came just 5 days after the humans left. The Vorthan Syndicate, a group of space pirates that had been quiet for years, suddenly struck at 17 different worlds on the same day. Their black ships appeared without warning and destroyed everything in their path. Council Speaker Vex Thar received the emergency reports in her office on Nexus Prime. Each message was worse than the last. The pirates had stolen entire cargo fleets. They had burned cities and taken thousands of prisoners. Some colonies had been completely destroyed. How is this possible? Vexthera asked her assistant, a small creature with blue skin and large eyes. "The Vorthans have been hiding in the Outer Rim for years. Why are they attacking now?" Her assistant looked at the reports with confusion. "Speaker, it appears they are targeting colonies that were previously protected by human security forces. Without the human guards and patrol ships, these worlds have no defenses." Vexthar felt a cold feeling in her stomach. For the first time, she began to understand what the human withdrawal really meant. On the planet Zeta Reticuli, Governor Naldak watched his capital city burn from his office window. The Vorthan pirates had landed just 2 hours ago. Their soldiers were in the streets, taking whatever they wanted and killing anyone who tried to stop them. "Where are the human mercenaries?" the governor asked his military commander. "They should have been here by now." The commander, a tall alien with 4 arms and green scales, looked embarrassed. "Sir, the human security company left 3 days ago. They said their contract was canceled." "Canceled? By whom?" "By the human government, sir. All human businesses have stopped working with non-human clients." Governor Naldak watched another building explode in the distance. His world had paid human mercenaries for protection for over 10 years. The humans had always come when called. They had kept the pirates away and made his people feel safe. Now his people were dying, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. The economic collapse started even faster than the military disasters. Within a week of the human withdrawal, the Galactic Stock Exchange crashed. Companies that had depended on human suppliers found themselves with empty warehouses. Trade routes that had been run by human shipping companies suddenly had no ships. On the trading world of Alpha Centauri, business leader Kixmal watched the market numbers fall on his computer screen. His company had made fortunes selling alien goods to human colonies. Now the humans were not buying anything from alien sellers. "How much have we lost?" he asked his financial advisor. The advisor, a creature that looked like a walking crystal, made sad sounds with his voice. 70% of our value in the last week, sir. The human markets were our biggest customers. Without them, we cannot sell our products. Kixmal looked at his warehouses full of goods that no one wanted to buy. Millions of credits worth of merchandise that was now worthless. What about other alien customers? They are having the same problems we are, sir. Everyone depended on human buyers. Everyone assumed the humans would always be there. The medical crisis was the worst of all. The Crimson Plague, which had been spreading slowly for months, suddenly got much worse. Without Dr. Patricia Lewis and her research team, alien doctors had no way to fight the disease. On the planet Kepler 452b, Dr. Yelenara worked day and night in her hospital. Every day brought more sick patients. Every day more people died. The disease was spreading faster than ever before, and she had no cure to offer. "Doctor, we have 50 more patients," her nurse reported. The nurse was tired and scared. She had been working for 3 days without sleep. "Put them in the emergency ward," Dr. Yelenara said. But she knew the emergency ward was already full. Soon they would have no more beds at all. "Doctor, what? About the human cure?" Dr. Patricia Lewis said she was close to finding a treatment. Dr. Yelenara felt anger and sadness at the same time. Dr. Lewis destroyed all her research when the humans left. She deleted the computer files and broke the medicine samples. "We have nothing." The nurse began to cry. Why would she do that? "People are dying." Because people were already dying, and nobody cared when they were human people, the doctor answered sadly. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council held emergency meetings every day. The elegant council chambers where aliens had once laughed at human problems were now filled with panic and fear. "The Vorthan attacks are getting worse," reported military advisor Zektar. He was a large creature covered in armor-like skin. "They now control 23 star systems. Our fleets cannot stop them." Trade Regent Moldar, who had once called humans breeding insects, now looked worried and tired. His crystal body was not glowing as brightly as before. "The economic situation is critical," he announced. "Galactic trade is down 60%. Unemployment is rising on every world. Some species are talking about leaving the council. What about asking other species for help?" suggested Council Member Piptar. The small furry alien was nervous and scared. "We have tried," Vexthara replied. "The Altarians say they are pacifists and cannot fight. The Centauri want us to give them 3 star systems in exchange for military help. The prices they are asking are too high." "What about the humans?" asked another council member. "Could we negotiate with them?" The room fell silent. Everyone remembered how they had treated the human ambassador just weeks before. Everyone remembered the laughter when human children were taken as slaves. "The humans will not speak to us," Vexthara admitted. "Ambassador Carter has ignored all our messages. Admiral Morrison refuses to take our calls. They act like we do not exist." On Earth, Admiral Jake Morrison read the reports from alien space with satisfaction. His intelligence officers brought him news every day about the growing chaos in the galaxy. The Vorthan Syndicate captured another 3 systems yesterday, reported Commander Ryan Brooks. They are using weapons and ships they stole from poorly defended alien colonies. What about the plague situation? Jake asked. Getting worse every day, sir. Death rates have doubled since Dr. Lewis destroyed her research. The alien medical systems cannot handle the crisis. Jake looked at the star maps on his wall. Red marks showed areas controlled by pirates. Yellow marks showed worlds affected by the plague. Blue marks showed colonies with economic problems. Almost every alien world had at least one colored mark. Many had all 3. How long before they break completely? Jake asked. Ryan looked at his reports. At current rates, sir, I estimate total economic collapse within 2 months. Military collapse within 6 weeks. The plague will overwhelm their medical systems within a month. And our colonies? Safe and secure, sir. Our defenses are holding perfectly. Our economy is actually growing because we are not wasting resources on alien trade. Our medical research is advancing faster without alien interference. Jake smiled for the first time in weeks. The aliens had taught humanity an important lesson about the galaxy. Now humanity was teaching them a lesson in return. Any word from the Council? They send messages every day, sir. Begging for help, asking for negotiations, promising better treatment. Speaker Vexthara sent a personal message yesterday saying, the Council was ready to discuss humanity's demands. And our response? The same as always, sir. We are not interested in galactic affairs. Jake walked to his window and looked down at Earth. Human ships moved peacefully through space, protecting human colonies and serving human interests. In the distance, he could see the construction of new battleships that would make humanity even stronger. The aliens had wanted a galaxy without human interference. Now they had it. Soon they would learn that getting what you want is not always a good thing. 6 weeks after the humans left, the Galactic Council was falling apart. Council Speaker Vexthara had not slept properly in days. Her beautiful scales were falling off from stress, and her 6 arms shook when she tried to hold documents. The elegant council chambers now felt like a prison where bad news arrived every hour. The Vorthan Syndicate now controls 42 star systems, reported military advisor Zektar. His armor-like skin was cracked and dull. They captured the mining world of Kepler 438b yesterday. The garrison surrendered without firing a shot. Trade Regent Moldar's crystal body was so dim it was hard to see him in the shadows. The economic numbers are even worse, he said weakly. Galactic trade has dropped by 80%. The Centauri Federation is demanding payment for old debts. 3 species have declared bankruptcy. What about the plague? Vexthara asked, though she did not want to hear the answer. 200 million dead across 57 worlds, reported the medical advisor. The disease is spreading faster than ever. Our doctors cannot stop it. Some hospitals have closed because all their staff died. Vexthara looked around the council chambers. Half the seats were empty because many species could no longer afford to send representatives. Those who remained looked tired and scared. The proud galactic civilization that had ruled space for 10,000 years was dying. We must contact the humans again, she said quietly. We have tried every day, replied her assistant. They will not answer our messages. Ambassador Carter's office sends automatic replies saying humans are not involved in galactic affairs. Then we must try harder, Vexthara said with desperation in her voice. While the aliens panicked, humanity was becoming stronger than ever before. Admiral Jake Morrison stood in the command center of the new orbital defense platform above Earth. The station was 10 times larger than anything the aliens had ever built. Its weapons could destroy entire fleets with a single shot. How are the new ships coming along? Jake asked Chief Engineer Danny Wright. Danny was a cheerful man with oil-stained hands and a big smile. The first Defiant-class battleship finished testing yesterday, sir. She can travel twice as fast as any alien ship and carry enough firepower to level a planet. And the others? We have 12 more under construction, sir. The shipyards are working day and night. By next month, we will have the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. Jake looked through the observation window at the construction yards below. Hundreds of human ships were being built at the same time. Each one used technology that the aliens had never seen. While the aliens had shared their old knowledge freely, humans had kept their best discoveries secret. What about the alien technology? We studied while we were in the council? Jake asked. Mostly junk, sir, Danny laughed. Turns out their so-called advanced science was just really old. They stopped trying to improve anything centuries ago. Human engineering is already better than theirs in most ways. Captain Kelly Adams commanded the first Defiant-class battleship during its test flights. The ship was beautiful and deadly, with smooth curves and hidden weapon systems. When she pushed the engines to full power, the ship moved so fast it seemed to disappear. All systems are working perfectly, she reported to Admiral Morrison over the communication system. The quantum drive is running at 115% of expected efficiency. The plasma cannons can punch through any known armor. How does it compare to alien ships? Morrison asked. Sir, this one ship could probably defeat an entire alien battle fleet, Kelly replied with confidence. Their ships are slow and weak compared to ours. I think they forgot how to build real warships. On human colonies across space, massive construction projects were changing entire worlds. General Carl Peterson oversaw the defense upgrades on New Texas, a planet that had been settled only 5 years before. Now it was becoming an impregnable fortress. The orbital defense grid is almost finished, reported his engineering officer. We have enough firepower to stop any invasion fleet. The ground-based shields can protect the entire planet from bombardment. Carl watched giant robots building missile launchers and energy cannons. What about the other colonies? Every human world is getting the same upgrades, sir. Admiral Morrison wants to make sure we never need alien protection for anything. But the most impressive progress was happening in the research labs. Dr. Amanda Price had returned to Earth and started working with a team of the best human scientists. Without alien interference, their research moved faster than ever before. We have successfully created enhanced immune systems that can fight any known disease, she reported to Morrison during their weekly meeting. Our colonists will be immune to biological weapons and most natural plagues. What about food production? Morrison asked. Even better news, sir. We developed new crops that can grow in space without soil or water. Human colonies will never need to import food again. We are completely self-sufficient now. Dr. Patricia Lewis had also been busy since returning to Earth. In her secure laboratory, she had not only recreated her plague cure, but made it much better. The new medicine does not just treat the Crimson Plague, she explained to a group of human officials. It completely removes the disease from the body and makes the patient immune to future infections. One dose will cure anyone forever. What? About production? Asked one of the officials. We can make millions of doses per day with our automated factories, Patricia replied. We have enough cure to save every infected alien in the galaxy, but we are not sharing it with them, Morrison stated. Of course not, sir. They made their choice about the value of human life. Now we have made ours about the value of alien life. Meanwhile, desperate alien governments tried everything they could think of to contact humanity. They sent trade offers promising valuable resources. They offered military alliances and defense treaties. Some even offered to make humans the leaders of the Galactic Council. All of these messages were ignored. On the planet Altair Prime, Governor Zendal gathered his remaining advisors for an emergency meeting. The Vorthan pirates were only 2 days away from reaching his world, and he had no way to stop them. What about hiring human mercenaries? He asked desperately. Human companies will not work for aliens anymore, sir, his military advisor replied. They all say the same thing. Humans only serve human interests now. What about direct payment to the human government? We tried that, sir. The Earth government returned our money with a message saying they are not involved in alien conflicts. Governor Zendal looked at the evacuation reports on his desk. His people were fleeing to other worlds, but even those places were not safe anymore. How did this happen? How did we become so dependent on humans without realizing it? His trade advisor, a thin creature with purple skin, answered sadly. Because they were so good at everything they did, sir. Human soldiers were the best fighters. Human doctors were the best healers. Human engineers built the best machines. We got used to having them solve our problems. And now? Now we have to solve our own problems, sir. And we are not very good at it. Back on Earth, Admiral Morrison read the latest intelligence reports with grim satisfaction. The alien civilization that had once laughed at human suffering was now begging for human help. But the begging had started too late. The Council is holding emergency sessions every day now, reported Commander Ryan Brooks. Speaker Vexthara has sent 17 personal messages asking for negotiations. Trade Regent Moldar actually offered to resign from his position if we would consider talks. Any change in our response? Morrison asked. No, sir. We continue to ignore all alien communications. As far as humanity is concerned, the rest of the galaxy does not exist. Morrison walked to his window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, alien civilizations were collapsing while human civilization grew stronger every day. The species that had once considered humans inferior were learning the truth about human capabilities. How much longer do you think they can last? Morrison asked. Brooks looked at his calculations. Total collapse within 2 weeks, sir. Maybe sooner if the Vorthans reach the core worlds. Morrison smiled coldly. Then soon they will learn the most important lesson of all. Which is, sir, that respect cannot be taken by force. It must be earned through strength. 3 months after humanity left the galaxy, Council Speaker Vexthara did something she had never done before in her long life. She got down on her knees and begged. The communication screen in front of her showed Admiral Jake Morrison sitting in his office above Earth. Behind him, she could see the blue planet that was now the center of the most powerful civilization in the galaxy. Human ships moved through space like bright stars, protecting a people who no longer needed anyone else. Admiral Morrison, Vexthara said, her voice barely above a whisper. The Galactic Council formally requests humanity's help. Our people are dying. Our worlds are burning. We cannot survive without you. Morrison looked at her for a long time without speaking. His face showed no emotion, no anger, no pity. Finally, he spoke. The Galactic Council made its position very clear about humanity's place in galactic affairs. We are simply honoring that position. Please, Vexthara begged, her elegant form shaking with desperation. The Vorthan Syndicate controls half the galaxy now. The plague has killed over 500 million beings. Our economies have collapsed. Our people are starving. We need humanity's help. And what exactly is humanity's place in the arrangement you are proposing? Morrison asked coldly. Vexthara knew this moment would come. She had to say words that would have been impossible just months before. Humanity would be the senior partner in any new galactic government. You would have final authority over all major decisions. Go on, Morrison said. All human colonies and territories would be recognized as sovereign. No alien government would have any authority over human space. Human representatives would have permanent positions on the council, with the power to stop any decision they did not like. Morrison leaned back in his chair. And what about justice for the Kepler 442b massacre? Vexthara felt sick, but she continued. The Zephyrian government will surrender all raiders involved in the attack. They will pay reparations to the families of the victims. The Zephyrian military will be placed under human command. Interesting, Morrison said. And if we refuse these terms? Vexthara looked at the reports on her desk. Half the galaxy was now controlled by pirates. Entire species faced extinction from the plague. Trade had stopped almost completely. Then, galactic civilization will end within weeks. Morrison was quiet for several minutes. Vexthara waited, hardly daring to breathe. Finally, he spoke. I will discuss your proposal with the human government. You will have our answer within 24 hours. The screen went dark, leaving Vexthara alone in her office. She had just surrendered the independence of every species in the galaxy. But she had no choice. Without humanity, they were all doomed. 24 hours later, the human fleet arrived. Captain Kelly Adams commanded the first wave of ships that entered alien space. Her battleship, the U.S. Defiant, was followed by 50 other vessels of incredible power and beauty. The alien defense fleets that tried to scan them could not believe what their instruments showed. These ships are impossible, whispered Admiral Zektar as he watched the human fleet approach Nexus Prime. Their energy signatures are off our measurement scales. Their armor appears to be made of materials we have never seen. The human ships move through space like they owned it. When Vorthon pirate fleets tried to attack them, the results were devastating. The pirates' weapons could not even scratch the human armor. The humans' return fire destroyed entire pirate fleets in seconds. This is Captain Adams to all Vorthon forces, Kelly announced over the communication channels. You have 60 seconds to surrender or be destroyed. This is your only warning. Most of the pirates surrendered immediately. Those who tried to fight were turned into space dust before they could fire a second shot. Within 3 days, the Vorthon Syndicate went from controlling half the galaxy to hiding in small groups in the darkest corners of space. But the most dramatic change came with the plague cure. Dr. Patricia Lewis personally delivered the first shipments to the worst affected worlds. Our enhanced medicine worked exactly as promised. Patients who had been dying for months were completely cured within hours. On the planet Kepler 452b, Dr. Yelenara watched in amazement as her hospital emptied for the first time in months. Patients who had been bedridden for weeks were walking out healthy and strong. Dr. Lewis, she said to the human doctor, this medicine is a miracle. How did you improve it so much? Patricia looked at the alien doctor with cold eyes. Human science advanced considerably after we stopped sharing our discoveries with species who did not value human life. I am sorry for what happened to your people, Dr. Yelenara said quietly. Many of us disagreed with the council's decision. Yet none of you spoke up when it mattered, Patricia replied. None of you protested when human children were taken. As slaves, your silence made you part of the problem. The economic recovery was just as swift. Human corporations returned to alien space, but this time as the dominant partners. Trade deals that had once favored alien interests now strongly favored human interests. Captain Steve Johnson found himself in the amusing position of dictating terms to the same aliens who had once tried to cheat him. On the Centauri commercial hub, the aliens who had once dismissed human business proposals now competed desperately for human attention. Captain Johnson, said the blue-skinned alien, with 4 arms, we accept all your terms without negotiation. When can we sign the contracts? Steve looked at the terms he was offering. Humans would control 70% of all profits. Humans would have final approval over all major decisions. Humans could cancel any deal at any time without penalty. These terms are quite generous for you, Steve said with a slight smile. Are you sure you can accept them? The alien nodded eagerly. Yes, Captain. We are grateful for any opportunity to work with humanity again. The final transformation came in the council chambers themselves. The elegant room where aliens had once laughed at human suffering was now arranged around a central platform reserved for human representatives. Ambassador Lisa Carter, now promoted to Secretary of Interstellar Affairs, sat in the position that had once belonged to the council speaker. Around her, the aliens who had once considered themselves superior now waited for permission to speak. The council recognizes the representative from the Altarian Republic, Lisa announced. The tree-like alien stood nervously. Thank you, Secretary Carter. The Altarian Republic requests permission to establish a new trade route through human space. Request denied, Lisa said without emotion. The Altarians supported the Council's decision to ignore the Kepler-442b massacre. Altarian trade privileges are suspended for 1 year. The alien's leaves rustled with distress, but he simply said, Yes, Secretary Carter, and sat down. Trade Regent Moldar, who had once called humans breeding insects, now found himself in the humiliating position of begging for human economic assistance. Secretary Carter, he said, his crystal form dim and cracked. My people face starvation without access to human food shipments. I personally request your forgiveness for my past words. Lisa looked at the crystal alien who had mocked her people. Your request is noted, Trade Regent. The human government will consider providing emergency food aid in exchange for full Moldari submission to human authority. Yes, Secretary Carter. We accept complete human authority over our territory. Admiral Morrison watched the proceedings from Earth with satisfaction. The transformation was complete. The species that had once dismissed humanity as inferior now competed for human approval like children seeking attention from adults. How are the other species adapting to the new order? He asked Commander Ryan Brooks. Better than expected, sir, Ryan replied. Most alien governments have accepted human leadership without major resistance. They learned their lesson about the consequences of opposing us, and the ones who have not accepted it, they are finding life very difficult, sir. No trade, no protection, no medical assistance. Most experts predict they will submit within weeks. Morrison nodded with approval. What about our own capabilities? Growing stronger every day, sir. Our fleets now patrol the entire galaxy. Our colonies are expanding faster than ever. Our technology continues to advance beyond anything the aliens can match. Morrison walked to his window and looked out at the stars. Human ships moved through space, carrying human authority to every corner of the galaxy. The species that had once considered humanity inferior now served human interests. The aliens taught us an important lesson, Morrison said quietly. They showed us that the galaxy respects only strength. They thought they could use us and discard us because they saw kindness as weakness. And now, sir, Morrison smiled coldly. Now, they understand that human kindness was a gift, not a weakness. When they rejected that gift, they learned what human strength really looks like. In the council chambers, Secretary Carter called the session to order. The council will now vote on the Human Protection Act, she announced. All species will contribute resources and personnel to support human galactic security operations. The vote was unanimous. It always was now. The age of alien dominance was over. The age of human rule had begun. And across the galaxy, every alien species understood one simple truth. Humanity had tried to be their partners, but the aliens had chosen to make them masters instead.